Hey everyone, and welcome to PGN Live. Woo! That sounds good. It is the final stream of the year. It is December 31st, 2025. This stream might end up being shorter than I originally thought, depending on the length that it is and when I have to go. I may come back later for like a part 2 or something like that. We'll see. But for now, for all intents and purposes, this is the last stream of the year. It's been a blast. We've had a great week. I updated a couple of things right here, so we sort of have like a little timestamp slash memory of this moment. So maybe a year from now, we look back and be like, what was the channel at on December 31st, 2025? Oh, yeah. As of 12:20 p.m. Pacific time, we had 8,033 subscriptions and 424 members. Now, I did look back, and yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, the total members was 425 that I had typed out. So either one person less is here, like one person's membership, dipped out and they didn't renew, something like that, or what I think it might be is that YouTube didn't update the total on their end to that new subscriber that joined. So it's like 424 or 425, but to be safer, I put the lower of the two possibilities. However, regardless, this is where we're at right now. Super cool to have hit 8,000 subscribers, to be at 400 plus members, to have such an awesome community with so many cool people in here helping out the channel and helping each other out, talking amongst one another, having really good connections. It's awesome. I've got my pop out chat here ready to go. And let's see who is here this Wednesday afternoon. Can I scroll up high? Can I scroll up more? I can't see if there's anything above this. Oh, okay, there we go. Robbie Reigns, 1. Hi. Johan Nintendo Leaker. In 3 hours in Sweden, it is 2026. Awesome. Happy almost New Year. First for the final stream of 2025. David Patterson says, hey, Paul and chat. Steak 1024. Hey, Paul and chat. Hey, David. Hey, Steak. Tall Show is here. Ocio Aguilera says, Happy New Year, Paul. Happy New Year, Ocio Aguilera. Welcome, welcome. Today we say goodbye to Doug Bowser. Yes, we do, Johan. Yes, we do. Doug Bowser posted on X, his farewell slash, thank you to all. I also had a private conversation to Doug on the side, which was nice. And yeah, he served at Nintendo for a good 11 years, 7 months. He began his journey at NoA in May of 2014, became president a couple of years later, late 2016, served in that role for a little bit over 9 years. We met each other in, I want to say, E3 of 2016. So I've known him for almost a decade, have had plenty of awesome interactions. He's always been super hospitable at every show, at every event, We've had a lot of good conversations, taken a lot of nice photos, talked online quite a bit, both publicly and, via private messages, but he's a good businessman, good person, good friend, and I wish him all the best in his retirement and with getting to spend more time with his family, grandchild, skiing, etc. Super cool. And Devon Pritchard, we welcome her. as NoA president. It's going to be an exciting new era. We'll see how much of a role she plays on the public side. A lot of people go back and, you know, we'll compare Doug, we'll compare Devon, Pritchard, we'll compare Devon, we'll compare future presidents probably for some time to Reggie Fils-Aimé. But that was a little bit of a different era of Nintendo, and not that somebody can't replicate it, but it's not in Nintendo's interest necessarily in building up a president who serves a very different role at NoA than to be on this comedic side in skits and have this public perception and connection to the fans. Because think about any business in the world, very few presidents, CEOs are out there doing skits and stuff like that. Not that they can't, but that's not their business. It's not their MO. Doug could have done more. He did do some. But that just wasn't the direction that overall Nintendo deemed necessary and therefore didn't utilize as much. Give me one moment. Okay. Let's see. Oh, well, what was I? Sorry, I just received a message in the moment. I was in partial thought. But yeah, that's, that wasn't up to Doug to necessarily not be in all of these directs and be doing Bowser skits. It's, Nintendo in Japan that makes the more broad worldwide decisions on how to handle things. But still, Doug was great. He did a lot. He also did a lot for South American countries, Brazil included. Had a big stance there in open communications and such. Oh, let's see. My Fortress. Happy New Year, Paul. All the best. God bless. Thank you, my fortress? It's not fortress. Thank you, my fort. I'm going to say my fort. But you could correct me and tell me how is it pronounced properly. But Happy New Year to you as well. Tall Show saying, Pokemon 30th Anniversary Celebration officially announced for February 27th, the usual date for Pokemon Presents. Yeah. Woo! Pokemon 30th Anniversary. Do you think we get to see Pokemon Gen 10? Exclusively built for Nintendo Switch 2. Hopefully, with the most amount of development time ever put into a mainline Pokemon game. Taking advantage of the current hardware. I wouldn't mind fewer Pokemon and having a better looking game with a bigger, more solid soundtrack, different orchestral pieces, higher fidelity of visuals, voice acting, and fewer Pokemon. Like that's okay with me. If that's kind of the trade-off. And yeah, I mean, we'll see. There's always going to be some folks that prioritize, I want to catch them all, and I want to have 1,250 Pokemon available. And some say, hey, just give me an awesome looking title and just keep it at 250. Good enough. Or something in between. But yeah, dude, Pokemon Presents. That could be pretty cool. It's the 30th anniversary. That's a big deal. It's kind of wild how Pokemon is that old now. At one point in time, Pokemon was new. Pokemon was the newbie franchise. If you're playing in like the year 2000, most people have only been playing Pokemon worldwide for a few years, watching the anime for a few years, seen a movie. That's about it. Whereas you looked at Mario and Zelda and you're like, oh, those things are old school, 15 years old. Dude, now Mario is 40. Zelda's about to turn 40. But the gap between Pokemon and, Zelda, for instance, yeah, it's always going to be 10 years, right? Whatever. But being 1 year old and 11 is a lot different than being 30 and 40. The percentage starts to decrease to the point where it doesn't matter anymore. When something's 90 and something's 80, they're quite similar at that point. Freddie Mercury is here saying hello from Greece. Happy New Year. Yeah, you're almost at midnight. Happy New Year. Yvonne Francois, hello. Charlie Smith, hi there. Pokemon Fan 34, hi. Let's see. Roger Enyard is here. Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Hey Roger, good to see you here. It is fortress in French. Okay, cool. How do you pronounce it? Fortress? Fortress. Fortresse. See, I'm saying it with like a Spanish accent, which it's not accurate probably. But I did think it could be fortress, but didn't know. But thank you for confirming. I'll say it however you would like me to say it, the best of my ability at least. I hope it's a big event and not over half of it covering their mobile offers. Wouldn't be surprised if some of it's mobile related. Maybe that's when they finally reveal Pokemon XD Gale Network of Darkness or Pokemon Coliseum, which would be a little bit later than I thought, because I thought it's going to be like a December kind of release for one, if not both of those games. Didn't end up happening. Unless if it comes tonight, which I don't think is going to happen at this point. Still could be January, but February could be cool too. I mean, we'll see. Maybe March. It's got to be in the first year, right, of Nintendo Switch 2's life. We'll see. Tsukino Ame says, hi everyone, Happy New Year. Hi there. Charlie Smith 06C saying hi. Hi. Alexis does Roblox and Go Animate. Hi PGN. Hi Alexis. Let's see. I've been watching Pokemon since I was little, Gen 1. Yeah, Pokemon Fan 34. Same thing. I was watching the Pokemon anime in the mornings before school. I remember that. Super salty, you won't do a pool jump for my birthday. You never know. Pokemon Fan 34, you said your birthday is July 5th, right? We'll see. David Patterson. Okay, people talking amongst each other. It's Persona 30th anniversary next year, too. So many anniversaries. Wow. Persona 30? Jeez. That's a long time, too. Huh. Persona and Pokemon, same year. Yeah. As we get older, as gaming continues longer and longer, we're going to have more and more of these bigger anniversaries, Eventually, stuff's going to be turning 50. Wow. Yeah. Like Pac-Man will turn 50 before Mario and Donkey Kong by a bit. Mr. Game & Watch will turn 50 the same year as Pac-Man. And then eventually we'll have Zelda and Metroid. I remember when Pikmin was new. Jeez. 2001, 2002. Pikmin's new. Pikmin's been around for a quarter of a century now. Jeez. So cool. So amazing how time flies. I missed the notification. That's okay, Byzantium. You are here. Sunny Sunmate. Hello there. Steak1024 says, I will keep my expectations low for Gen 10. I hope it's built for Switch 2. By hedging my expectations, they are still trying to capitalize on the Switch 1 install base. Ooh, interesting thought. So, I originally said, and I'm still kind of expecting, Nintendo Switch 2 to be at around 22.5 million by June 30th, 2026. To which, if I had a guesstimate, by the end of 2026, Nintendo Switch 2 should hit 30 million. So by December 31st, 1 year from now, Nintendo Switch 2 should be at 30 million. If I had to guess right now, knowing what we did going into December, first week or so in the month, it was already at 15. I think my estimation of 16 to 17.5 is probably valid. Split it in half and call it 16.75. That means, okay, I'm expecting 1 year from now it to go from approximately 16.75 to 30. That's totally reasonable in my opinion. Actually, that's only 14.25 in the next 12 months. I think it ends up doing better than that. Yeah, I think it does better than that. So we're going to see more than 30 million Nintendo Switch 2s out there. And if Pokemon is potentially a November, December game in 2026, it will be on an install base of like 32 million systems. That's not going to be little. You saw how well the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Pokemon Legends ZA has been performing, right? So I think Pokemon Company would be fine having Pokemon Gen 10 only release on NS2. Could there be two different SKUs though? I used to think about that back in the 3DS Wii U days. What if Pokemon Company released like the equivalent of red on 3DS, the equivalent of blue on Wii U? Gosh, I actually had that thought, if I'm not mistaken, back in the DS Wii days. What if they did a split? That kind of thing never happened. I mean, the closest to that was Legends ZA, where there is an identical version between NS and NS2, just that one performs better, but that's not what I was getting at. I'm like, Pokemon Dark is on NS and Pokemon Light is on NS2, right? And they're compatible with one another, but one is totally revamped. It's just the trading mechanic is compatible. But maybe there are other mechanics where it's like, oh no, this is an NS2 feature. I don't know. It gets a little bit convoluted though when there's that big of a power gap, but back in the day it kind of worked because I was like, imagine this 2D game and then a 3D game. Ooh, that still requires a lot of development, but all the Pokemon, all the same fixings, just one is presented in a different visual style and one is on, a 3D polygon pushing platform and the other one is, more sprite based or something. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit too much to ask for now to have two very different looking SKUs, or one SKU in which one is just heavily modified. I think it's going to be just a Nintendo Switch 2 title. But we'll see. Sunny Same says, do you think GTA 6 will come to Switch 2? I want it to. Easy answer, I want it to. Do I think it will? Given the success of GTA, the trilogy, the definitive edition on Nintendo Switch, and the incentive for Rockstar to patch that version and also put Red Dead Redemption 2 on the console and improve that version for NS2, it bodes well, showing that Rockstar and Nintendo have a better relationship now than they did, several years ago. With NS2 being by far the most dominant platform in Japan and will have that for the foreseeable future, with NS2 getting more and more traction in the US and elsewhere in the world, being more powerful in comparison to PS5 and Xbox Series than Nintendo Switch was to Xbox One and PS4, therefore having a greater likelihood of receiving ports, having DLSS, being a top-selling platform, easier to port thanks to it being more capable. The fact that everybody's going to have to make up, space because no disc or cartridge is going to fit the behemoth of GTA 6. I want to say more signs point to yes than no, that yes, I think Grand Theft Auto 6 will release on Nintendo Switch 2. I know that's a lot. I could have just said yes or no, but I wanted to provide a little bit of my analytical thinking and coming up with that answer, and then instead of just saying yeah, Can Peach and Mario wish me a happy birthday in March? I'm sure they can, Tsukino Ame. On whatever date that is, you remind me, hey, today's my birthday. And I'll have Peach and Mario say happy birthday. By the way, we've got 22 people already here. 16 likes on the final stream of 2025. Woo! Thank you all for being here. 8,033 subscriptions. 424 members. So cool. And you all being here. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Charlie Smith saying Happy New Year. Lewis Smash got Kirby Air Riders. Super cool. I hope you're liking it, Lewis. Or Luis, possibly. Vito Libido says, you know what I really want is a new Mario Kart home circuit where it goes on concrete and grass and you can use the carts outside. That would be neat. Yeah. I had and still have an RC car that I've owned for, I want to say like 34 years. I think I got it for my 8th birthday or 8th Christmas, something like that. But it's a really cool car. Still works. This year, for my son, for his birthday, I got him an RC car. And for my daughter, for Christmas, I got her an RC car. And they're so cool. They're fast. It's fun to play with outside and all that. They do have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or Mario Kart 8 in general, branded RC cars. But to have like an update to home circuit, but that can be used in the outside world and could be like an evolved step on that, could be neat. I agree. Wishing everyone a great New Year's and a fresh beginning to 2026 and for gaming, guys. Yes. Pokemon Light and Dark confirmed. Yeah, you know it, Byzantium. That's true. Johan Nintendo Leaker, I will miss Doug Bowser. Yeah. I hope to still see Doug at events. You know? Like, maybe not all events because there's no need to, but something neat happening, something that he's interested in, it's relevant to, his liking and, his online presence and just wanting to be there or being invited there. And, if I'm fortunate enough to be invited to, for instance, the Legend of Zelda Red Carpet opening premiere or the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and if Doug is there, like, that would be cool to still see him at some of these kind of functions, or at a future the Game Awards, just as, a special attendee or something like that. Yeah, because he's really nice, really cool. Good person, like I said. Sunny Sunmate, you're welcome. Yay, I will get a birthday wish from Peach and Mario and Monster Hunter Stories 3 on the same day. That is cool. That's a good birthday. Lily Young 1002 says, hi peeps. Hi, Lily. We've got 30 people watching now and 16 likes. Those are good odds right there. And I am all caught up with the chat. Just about. Oh, we got 21 likes. Awesome. Steak1024 says, Polygale Network, with game storage space still increasing, do you think in newer versions of the Switch 2, like a Lite, OLED, etc., they'll add a second SD card slot? That's a good idea, and I wouldn't mind it. You know what I wouldn't mind either? I mean, I wouldn't have minded from the get-go that the base Nintendo Switch 2 had 2 slots. One for a micro SD XC card that could handle all of my Nintendo Switch games. So I don't have to use my micro SD Express card on my old library, But that is also why I still have my Nintendo Switch OLED models, because everything is accessible there, and most is accessible on my NS2, but my NS2 doesn't have every game on it. Every cartridge game could be played, every digital game is not downloaded. And like that, we got our first Oh, but I will get back to like the second part of that question, or that question. And just like that, I was saying we have our first super chat, maybe our first of the day and our last of the year. Big thank you to Creeper Destinations with a $5 super chat. Another stream so soon? Yeah, you know, we had one yesterday, but we needed to have one today on the last day of the year, because even if there's not anything big in terms of gaming news, Doug Bowser retiring, his last day, giving him a shout out is considerable enough for me. Having a little bit of time spent here, still worth it and fun. This will probably be a little bit of a shorter stream. However, I could come on later for like a part 2 if it's too short. But thank you, Creeper Destinations, for the awesome $5 contribution. I really appreciate it. And just like that, we added some more color to the chart. Let's see. So to answer Steak 1024's question, though, I would like them to do it. Yeah, I think it would definitely benefit having a second slot available, and probably would make more sense to have it be a micro SD Express slot, because you are worried more about the future than the past, especially if you still have your old Nintendo Switch, maybe slightly inconvenience of taking up 2 HDMI slots, but entirely possible. Or just, playing a little bit of refrigerator and, moving some NS software back and forth, etc. But yeah. How much effort would it cost? How much more would it cost? I don't know. But having an extra slot for a micro SD Express card would be pretty cool. Because right now, you've got 1 terabyte. That would allow for 2 1 terabyte cards. And then maybe eventually, imagine, folks like Lexar make a 2 terabyte card. And you stick 2 of those bad boys in there. And you got 4 terabytes of space. That'd be pretty dope. Then I think you're like set. If you got 4 terabytes of space, you're set. GTA 6 is going to be a 800 gigabyte game or something. It's going to take up a whole system. Yeah, I could see GTA Rockstar being like, you know what? Here, it's a $120 copy of the game, but you're getting 64 gigabytes worth of content on the cartridge, and the rest is a mandatory download, but being packed in with every copy of the game is a no, it'd have to be too, it would be too much money at that point. But like, imagine if basically what I was getting at was GTA 6 comes with its own 1 terabyte micro SD Express card. And it's just a more expensive version. Or they have a version that comes without one, but it is known, hey, you will need extra storage space to play this game. The base Nintendo Switch 2 does not have enough. Or you buy this bigger version and you've got the whole shebang on there. It's going to be interesting. In 2 hours, it'll be 2026 in Sweden. Super cool. Lily Young, you're playing some Stardew Valley. That's neat. Oh, I think I read that earlier. Yeah, regarding Pokemon Light and Pokemon Dark, I was just saying some fun hypothetical of maybe it would be good, maybe it wouldn't be good, but what if one was on Nintendo Switch and one was on Nintendo Switch 2? They were compatible with one another, you know what I mean? But I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. Hold on. Let's see. Sorry about that. 1 second. Okay, okay. One more moment. Okay, I think I'm good. Okay, I was talking about the Pokemon thing. Yeah. I think the new Pokemon game will just be for NS2, but we'll see. Speculation on the PS6 being delayed beyond 2027 due to memory shortages. Also, people are okay with giving the PS5 a longer life cycle. What are your thoughts on this, Paul? Good question and good comment in general, David Patterson. I originally, like I said yesterday in the stream, did not think we're going to get a PS6 until November 2027. I kind of didn't think we were going to get one in 6. I thought it was too early. I was like, too early. But I thought maybe November 2027 at the earliest, maybe 28. Now I'm thinking, oh, maybe 28's like the earliest. Maybe we're looking at 29, 30. So I could see that being a thing. And how do I feel? I'm not disappointed in it. I would rather Sony wait longer, get more out of the PS5, which is a console that I purchased and that I have enjoyed, that is a good system. See developers better take advantage of it. See some developers start working in advance on games that will better take advantage of an eventual PS6. Let PS6 take longer to come out so the technological difference is greater because it took longer. And the same with Xbox, although Xbox is in a different category now thanks to being, semi-third party too, despite being their own console manufacturer. And it allows Nintendo really good, unique time to be the system to own. It'll be the newest system on the market for quite a while. I think it could benefit even greater than Nintendo Switch did when Nintendo Switch came out, into PS4 and Xbox One's existence. So, yeah. That's what I think on that. Huddy40 says, have you played Kingdom? I just missed it. Have you played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? Been eyeing it on sale. No, Huddy, I haven't. How much is it? Yeah, for a good price. Not like I'm not busy enough with games. I started replaying Ghost of Yotei last night. It was a few weeks since I played it last, so I was a little bit rough. I'm like, oh man, my skills aren't as sharp with the pairing and stuff like that. Holy shoot, speaking of sharp, AJ Rax 0440 with a $20 super chat. Wow. Big thank you, AJ Rax 0440, for the super generous $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Here's to a new year indeed. I hope you have a great 2026. This community really means a lot to me. And I'm so glad that I started streaming and started having a regular flow of countdown videos, of gaming history videos, live streaming. It's been really fun, super worthwhile, and yeah, just thank you all for being here. I'm gonna stretch this out. We'll put this kind of like that, and then AJ Rax, you also have that spot here on the final day of the year. That looks cool. That's looking good, right? Good. AJ Rax, What is your favorite? Or what? I guess I could ask that. I was gonna say, what was your favorite game of 2025, and what is your most anticipated game of 2026? I'm curious. Oh wait, I just realized it appears for me, but it's too low for you all on stream. Yeah, okay. Now it can be seen, right? Yeah. Creeper Destination says, do you think Apple will ever try to tap into the gaming world? The new iPhones can basically handle a lot of games. I mean, in a way they kind of have, but as far as like making a designated console, they could be, for all we know, working on something behind the scenes. Or they could wait and see, like, all right, the market is willing to spend this much on these portable PCs. There are these attachments that we do allow our iPhones to go into and play streaming software from like PlayStation and Xbox. We see Nintendo Switch 2 doing their own thing, but they also have a wealth of IP, which helps make them successful. And then on the flip side, or on the other side, we have Steam Deck and the Steam Machine. Could there be something in the avenue of the Steam Machine that we make one of our own, and we also allow for an iPad to connect to it and it serve as a visual presentation piece in the household, where the iPad serves as the front of this screen, as the front of this gaming device, or an iPhone as a dock. It's a charger. You don't need it because the device itself plays games, but if you put it on it, you could have a second screen experience, or it could be a map, or you could take that map off and have some kind of unique interaction between your iPhone, because it's all their own doings, and this TV device. But you could already plug in your iPhone via HDMI port to your TV, so I don't know. I'm not like set on, like, I think Apple will officially make a big entry into the designated home console market, because I think iPhones and their portable nature favors them more. But I wouldn't be entirely surprised if it happened. You know, they're big enough, wealthy enough that they could give it a fair shot. I just don't know for sure. Elijah Drago 410. Hey Paul, what is your favorite Nintendo game come out this year, 2025? Favorite Nintendo game, period, all time? The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This year, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Pokemon Pizza Pepperoni and Pokemon Pizza Pineapple Edition. There you go, Tall Show. That might be it. Roger Ender says, I don't see why they won't allow us to use a portable SSD for storage. They did this for Wii U. Yeah, Wii U did allow recommended external storage devices that use their own power source. But yeah, Nintendo Switch didn't, and Nintendo Switch currently doesn't. It would be a little bit problematic in that, obviously, once you take it portably out of the dock, you no longer have access to some, but at least there would be a chance to, right? You would be able to swap back and forth more easily between your SSD physical device attached to the dock and the internal guts of what is on the system or on the micro SD express card, right? Than downloading constantly using internet data. Yeah. Maybe there will be a future update. Maybe Nintendo will allow it. Also, Pokemon Coliseum or Gale of Darkness doesn't come to the GameCube NSO by the end of February. Surely they have to, right? I don't know how long you'll be live. Oh, hopefully another 24 minutes. Hopefully we finish this stream at that Nintendo 64-minute mark, you know? Charlie Smith says, Happy New Year. Oh, to AJ. Got it. I'm ready for 2026 in 2 hours. Really cool. AJ Rax says, favorite game is Metroid Prime 4, and I'm waiting for Dragon Quest 7. I played it on PS2 back in the day. Yeah. Yeah, see, when I came up with my post on X several days ago of this is how much we're getting on Nintendo Switch 2 in 2026, I didn't even mention, everything. People were commenting, oh, don't forget about this one, don't forget this one. I'm like, dude, there's just well over 24 games that are good, including, yeah, you said it, Dragon Quest 7. That's going to be a big remake. And I'm glad you liked Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I thought it was great. For me, MP4 Beyond was definitely a Game of the Year contender. It was my most anticipated Game of the Year. I thought it stood a good chance at winning. And then after I got it, definitely wasn't disappointed. But Bonanza took the title. Apple Pippin 2? Maybe. Steak 1024. Nintex 2 Dope is here. I know you've been here for a while, but I didn't see your name till now. Paul Gale Super Show. Hello, good sir, and greetings all Paul Galesers. How you doing, Nintex 2 Dope? Good to see you here. Can you believe? Oh, man. Can you believe we are close to an Apple iPhone 20 soon? Yeah. My first iPhone was July 2008. It was a white iPhone, I think 16 gigabyte, iPhone 3G. Yeah, because you had the first iPhone, which was like the silver black 60-40 split kind of one, and then I think that was 07 summer or September or something like that, and then July the next year, that iPhone 3G. No, that was my first one. I had the 3G. 4 years later, I got the 5. I think 2 years later, the 6. 2 years later, the 7. A couple years later, the 12. And then 4 years later, the 16. So I think I've had like 6 iPhones. Creeper Destinations with the big $10 super chat. Are you excited for the new Resident Evil? Leon makes his return. First of all, big, giant thank you, Creeper Destinations, with a 15 total. 10 more added on for the day. Man, thank you for the support. Super generous of you. Very kind. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, especially on the final day of the year. What a way to have an enjoyable stream with 41 people watching, over 21 likes. Heck yeah, let's go. To answer your question, yes, I'm excited. I am going to get that Resident Evil Legacy Pack, Generations Pack. What's it called? I'm getting that. I technically do have and played through most of Biohazard RE7 on PS4. I don't own Village, though. Played the demo of it, but I never went around picking it up. So actually, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think I played Village in its new third-person perspective mode, because that was added later. So for me, Village is actually going to be mostly a new game. And I like the demo, I just didn't get around to buying it. So now for $90, you're going to get a brand new, high quality, seemingly, Resident Evil Requiem, which is going to be split between Ashcroft, Kennedy, horror, more limited things, more vulnerable, and like more badass, actiony, still scary stuff with probably the GOAT of the series is Leon. There seems to be like probably Chris Redfield people, Leon S. Kennedy people. I like both, but Leon is my overall favorite. And, well, then you also have Jill Valentine people and Claire Redfield people. And others are along the way. They're all cool. Like, Resident Evil's got such a good cast of characters. It's such a cool series. But, Resident Evil 4 is my overall favorite entry. And dude, I'm excited. And we get an amiibo of it, which is neat. And we get a Pro Controller. I'm not picking up the Pro Controller. I think it's cool. But I will wait longer until I either need one or there's a Pro Controller that's really sits with me well. Heck, this would be super unnecessary, but if they just made an all blue, an all green, an all red, and all yellow Pro Controller, I'd probably buy all four because I would want to have that aesthetic look like the classic Nintendo 64 setup, you know? Or if they were fantastic, being, semi-transparent, that would be cool too. But just like even the solid colors. But yeah, I'm getting the amiibo. I don't even know what it looks like yet, but I'm getting that. Big hype for Resident Evil 9. $90 for that game, which is going to be like a $70 title, plus 2 more in 7 and 8. Yeah, you could get it digitally, but the physical release will be this cool set. It's going to be digital or game key card anyways, so even though the convenience factor is a little bit better for digital, I think the fact that the physical is also getting some cool case and stuff makes it a little bit more compelling. So yeah. Good question. And thank you again for that donation, Creeper Destinations. Tall Show's first iPhone was the iPhone 4. It has been a while. J Biggs, Mr. NY for life. Happy New Year's, my friends. Happy New Year's. 2026 is almost here. Lily Young, 1002. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. Nintex too dope. What would be interesting is if Nintendo made a 256 gigabyte game card that was rewritable. I could download games and then write them to the card. I'd rather have that as an alternative storage. That would be cool. Yeah, that'd be good. Lily Young's only had Android. I mean, everything is fine. It's kind of funny for me when people say, "Oh, Android sucks. Oh, iPhone sucks." It's like, dude, none of them suck. It's just you're more used to what you're used to. You know? It's just you're used to more. Everything is comparably good. Some things are a little bit better for here. Some things are a little bit better for here. You might prioritize this or that, but neither one is bad, as is with most things. Pizza chains, cheeseburger chains, comic book companies, video game companies, like, nothing's really like bad. It's just different types of good and what you're used to and what you gravitate a little bit more towards. But yeah, it's all good. AJ Rex says, I wish Nintendo would add these games to NSO. The Guardian Legend and either Lufia 1 or 2. Maybe 2026. Maybe. I never had an iPhone, just an iPod and iPad. That's cool. GPUs are looking like they're about to double and more or so in price. Metro Prime 3863, yeah. And part of those GPU prices going up, part of those RAM prices going up is increasing the likelihood of other consoles coming out later, which really makes it an attractive position for Nintendo to be in because they're going to have the newest system out on the market for quite some time, as a result. Nintex 2 Dope says, 4 or 5 cards, I'd have my entire Switch library on a card instead of a micro SSD. Yeah? Pokemon Fan 34, yeah, we are still live. With 44 watching and 20 plus likes. Looks like we've got 30 likes. So thank you all. Carlton-san, hi Paul, and hey chat. Hi there, Carlton-san. I bought an Xbox controller and an adapter for my Switch. That's pretty cool, Lily Young. If Pokemon Coliseum or Gale of Darkness don't come, yeah, by the end of February. They've got to. They've got to by June 30th, right? They've got to by the first year. They were announced so early. In the first year, I mean, I was already a little bit surprised that they didn't come by the end of this year, but I'd definitely be quite surprised if they don't by June 30th. By February 30th, February 27th, whatever, I think that's a good chance. I mean, I guess so. I guess one of the two. We'll see. It's a little bit of a mystery, you know? But the good thing is, it gives you incentive to play something that you haven't played before. Like Pokemon Fan 34, have you played Luigi's Mansion? Have you played The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker? If you haven't, I'd recommend playing those two on NSO in the time being while you have access to them and enjoy them before like your favorite ones come out in Coliseum and Polygale Network of Darkness. The key card at least can be given to anyone in the next 30 years. True, Charles Riddell. And welcome. Isn't an SD card already that? A card that you could write and download your games in? Well, I think what Stake 1024 meant was, like having a cartridge that goes into the slot maybe, and having, the ability to swap in and out from it. But yeah. Because Microsoft did try proprietary storage for Series consoles, it's more expensive than SSDs to this day. Yeah, those little attachments to the side do cost a lot. You love your iPhone, iPad. In 2026, if they don't give us DK64, you'll be disappointed. Well, when we saw that kind of blurred image, you were able to make out certain things. So it looks like Donkey Kong 64, Super Smash Brothers, these titles will eventually come. Part of me was like, I could see DK64 coming out before Bonanza, but then I can also see, you know what? Maybe let Bonanza have its time to shine as the only 3D Donkey Kong available on the system, and then later, after it's been out for a year, release DK64. And then later on use that as a little bit of a pump up to Bonanza to have a small little boost to its wind, So, I can see 2026. Smash that like button. Thank you, Carlton-san. Tigerus, yo! Are you a fan of UFC? Yeah, Creeper Destinations. I'm a big fan of UFC. I used to go to almost every UFC pay-per-view at this sports bar restaurant. And then after a while, if I didn't go to the sports bar restaurant, because it was like only a $10 service charge to like go in, and you didn't have to order food, but sometimes like, you pay $10 to go in, and then you order food, $10 and a $2 tip, and like, you had $22 for your day, and you got to see the fights, which was cheaper than spending $60-65 for it. But then eventually it was like, if I'm not going to the restaurant, a few buddies and I would either split it and order a pay-per-view at one of our houses. And then eventually I was like, you know what? I became the go-to guy for a monthly UFC party where I would order UFC fights, have some food, have some Super Smash Brothers for Wii U or Mario Kart 8 gameplay sessions. And folks would come over and we would just have UFC nights. Every July we'd have a UFC party associated with my birthday party. Like whatever pay-per-view was closest to my birthday, we would do that and just have food and stuff. And to this day I still go to some of the events at like a local sports bar restaurant kind of thing. Carlton-san! Oh shoot! Woo! Look at that green! W's in the chat for the last stream of the year! Wow! Thank you, Carlton-san, for the awesome $5 super chat. Big thank you. Let's get your name up here. Carlton-san with the 5. Thank you very much for that awesome contribution to the stream. You're right. It is the last stream of the year. It's been a good year for gaming. We got a brand new console this year. That doesn't happen all the time. How could it not be a good year for gaming, But yeah, two creeper destinations again. UFC, yeah. These days I don't watch every event. I still follow the overall events and who's fighting. I still catch replays if I'm not watching it live, but I still make an attempt to keep up with it and to watch when I can. 53 watching now, by the way. Over 30 likes in the chat. $40 at the stream total for the last stream of 2025. 56 minutes in. Got 8 more minutes till we hit that Nintendo 64 mark. I think we're going to go longer. Carlton San, Creeper Destinations, AJ Rax 0440. Big thank you for today's donations. Let's see. Who else is in here? Aiden is happy getting his Nintendo Switch 2 and is doing a lot better. Absolutely, I saw that and it was fantastic to see. Jeannie, hi, good afternoon. Hi there. J-Views, what's up, Paul? What's up, J-Views? Lily Young says, should I buy a Switch 2 next year? I think Deja Vu, I don't know if it was you, Lily Young, or somebody asked that same question on the last stream. And my answer is yes. My second answer is, if financially it doesn't make a difference whether you buy it now or next year, I would recommend buying it now, because if you could still find the Mario Kart 8, sorry, I got used to saying that for a decade. If you could still find the Mario Kart World Bundle for $450, you're probably not going to get a better deal next year, because one, that bundle's being phased out at the $500 mark. It just won't exist anymore. Two, not only are you getting that $500 bundle with MKW saving $30, but right now you still might be able to find some stores that are selling it for $450. So you're saving even more. Three, if you don't like Mario Kart World, you sell that digital code, and then now your $450 Nintendo Switch, maybe you just bought it for $400, that NS2, because you just sold MKW on the side for $50. You know what I mean? Whereas next year, you're only going to have yourself, unless if there's some other bundle, a $450 base NS2 with no game. But there's also the possibility of tariffs and such making Nintendo have to raise the price. So maybe a base Nintendo Switch 2 is now $500. And you could have got one now for $450 with Mario Kart World, right? Effectively making it like $370 or $400. So if financially you're okay to get one now, I recommend getting one now. But do I recommend one at all? And or to get one next year? Absolutely. Buy one next year if you can. Go for it. Joyce J69 says, hey Paul, hey y'all, getting ready for my New Year's Eve slumber party, which y'all got lined up for the evening. Well, welcome Joyce J. Thank you for being here. What I have lined up is, I started replaying some Ghost of Yotei yesterday. It was so much fun, but I was getting my butt kind of kicked for a bit. I was like, oh man, my parrying isn't as good as it was because I stopped playing for a few weeks. My quickness to tapping this button and then hitting this and tapping this button to access this and like accidentally throwing this at the item, at the enemy and not rolling, like, shoot. It took me a little bit. Like, how do I call my horse? Wait, what? But then it's just, I played for a couple of hours, 15 minutes in. I got the groove back, another 20 minutes in. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm rolling okay. That happens. So I'm going to play more of that tonight. And then probably my wife, son, daughter, and I will play some Marvel Cosmic Invasion, maybe some Mario Kart World. And probably that will be our last gaming experience collectively, 4 of us, of 2025. Before that, later this afternoon, my wife and I are going to go to the theaters to see the Stranger Things finale. That's cool. I'm looking forward to it. I thought this season has been really neat. Loving the Nintendo references. So awesome whenever that pops up. Just like in season 4, it was super cool. So yeah, I gotta go see Stranger Things 2, or Stranger Things finale, I should say, tonight. And yeah, how about you? Any gaming tonight? Oh, it's raining today. Gotta say, tonight's the perfect kind of night. If anybody in Los Angeles wants to be shooting off the big fireworks in the sky, tonight's the kind of night to do it. Because it's raining, so you're going to get the... And then no cause for fire. Because as soon as it goes... The rain's going to put it out. So no embers, no issues, no ball crashing into something and catching on fire. It's raining. Tonight's the night. If folks want to have fun, which they usually do New Year's Eve to New Year's Day. Still doesn't quite help with the animals and their ears. That's still true. But in terms of like fires and stuff, you got one less thing to worry about. Have you ever played Deltarune? Yes. Batman Shady. Deltarune's cool. AJ Rax. Yes, I'm looking forward to RE9. Mario Tennis Fever. Mario Wonder Switch 2 Edition. And Yoshi, the Mysterious Book. I mean, I don't know about you, AJ Rax, but give me a new 2D Yoshi game. I'm looking forward to that. Switch 2 is worth it solely for Donkey Kong Bonanza and Metro Prime 4 Beyond Carlton's on. 2 fantastic games. One of which you could only experience on NS2. The other, definitely experiencing it at a higher level of visual fidelity and smoothness and stuff on, the newer console. Don't drink and drive. Have a designated driver. That's true, Charlie Smith. I wish I could get it now, hoping the price doesn't go up. Yeah, that's true. Sorry, I'm distracted. No cookie? Okay, sorry. Is my microphone? I'm on, right? We're good? We're good? Do you think it's worth grabbing Batman Trilogy? Oh, yes, from the eShop for $20. I also saw Ninja Gaiden Trilogy for $19.79 on the eShop, but the sale may be over. All is Switch, by the way. I got the Batman Arkham Trilogy and loved replaying it on Nintendo Switch 2. I don't oftentimes replay games, but it was so long since I've last played Arkham Asylum. And my Batman experience is staggered on different consoles. So I got Asylum originally on Xbox 360. I got City on Wii U. I got Night on Xbox One. And it's been a long time, especially since Asylum and City, that I bought the pack, 3 games on it, also $20. Replayed through Asylum, replayed through City. Fantastic experiences. Played a little bit of Night. And now there's a patch. Well, I don't know if it's a patch or just, oh no, it does perform better by default on Nintendo Switch 2. And no problems with any of the three on the base Nintendo Switch. And this was a couple of Novembers ago, a couple of Decembers ago when I was playing them. So worth it. If you see it on eShop for $20, there are some fantastic games. Great gameplay, great sound, ambiance, voice acting, story, fun factor. Those three for $20 is well worth it. The Ninja Gaiden trilogy, I don't own that on Nintendo Switch, but for $19, that's also a good deal because those three games are good. Ninja Gaiden, I think I have the first two on Xbox 360, followed by Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge was the subtitle of the Nintendo Wii U version. Yeah. Amazon does have it too, so I will check that out. Sorry. Let's see. Mohammed Taresh 231. Paul, can you explain to me how Nintendo Sport never leaves top 4 in the chart on the eShop, and it's NR1 selling game number 1 selling game right now? Plus, I heard people hate the game, so it's weird. Nintendo Switch Sports, like the spiritual successor to Wii Sports. There's this thing of a very vocal minority that can do a lot of good or spread a lot of hate. It doesn't take much. If you have somebody that wants to cause fear and chaos, it doesn't take many people to ignite something, to spread an ugly rumor, to have a nasty take, to yell really loud to get their opinion across. And then it brings controversy and it brings other people looking in, and people are like, oh my gosh, well, does everybody feel that way? When in reality, Nintendo Switch Sports is a good game. It's a fun game. It's fine. It didn't revolutionize the industry in the way that Wii Sports did, but it's good enough and fun enough that people like it, buy it, play it, own it, recommend it, keep playing it, buying it, recommending it to friends, and that's why it still sells. So I wouldn't put much faith into the naysayers. Not to say, oh, just buy everything, play everything without ever looking at a review, without ever looking at anything. But, yeah, don't let the naysayers steer you in the wrong way. It's just a vocal minority. I'm not buying Pokemon. Everyone should not buy Pokemon. It doesn't have all 900 Pokemon in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Went on to be the second best-selling Pokemon series of all time. Oh, I'm not buying Pokemon. I know Pokemon. The characters are falling through the map in Scarlet and Violet. It outsold Pokemon Sword and Shield and became the new number 2 best-selling Pokemon series of all time. Wow. Because Sword and Shield at the end of the day were good games. Scarlet and Violet at the end of the day were good games. Greatly over-exaggerated was the amount of crashes and stuff people had. But that's because anytime you get something too polarizing, so popular, 10 million people are playing this, you're going to have a greater percentage of people that are trying to find the flaws and people trying to push it harder to find flaws. Not to say that somebody could have just been playing willy-nilly, just a casual gaming session of it and fell through a map. No, that's still possible to have occurred. But to the point where people were grossly over-exaggerating this happens, it's so flawed. They're trying to brick it. They're trying to make it fail. They're trying to make it look bad because they have an agenda to. They don't like it. They don't want others to like it. They want, let's show them that no one's buying this game, so they're forced to do better. Not that developers shouldn't try to make things better, but to artificially manipulate the data to skew it this way, that's not cool. I know that's a long-winded thing, but that is my thought on things in general, and in this case, when it comes to Nintendo Switch Sports. No, it's cool. Let's see. If you haven't played Final Fantasy VII Remake, I highly recommend it on Nintendo Switch 2, if it's your system of choice. Yeah, Genie Love. I played FF7 Remake on my PS5 primarily, and it was great. I played through the demo on NS2, loved it once again, and I actually do have it pre-ordered for Nintendo Switch 2. Duskbloods was enough for me to buy Switch 2. Heck yeah, Mohammed Tarish. That's going to be a cool one next year. We have a slight network error. Yeah. Who's up for some community MKW tonight? I'm thinking of streaming after work. Dude, Roger, put your link in the chat. Put the link in the chat right now, Roger. Go ahead. Let me put this on the page right up here. Ash, thank you, by the way, for this. I don't know, Ash, if you're in here right now, but thank you, Ash, for that. Yeah. Roger, my recommendation, go for it. Get your stream link, put it in here. Let me open it up. Let me plaster that on the page so you have some ad space, if you will, some visibility. So for those that don't know, Roger Enyart, I'm going to read his comment, says, once again, who's up for some community MKW tonight? That's Mario Kart World. I'm thinking of streaming after work. Go to Roger's YouTube page, play with him, have fun, enjoy some friendly challenge while you're on your Nintendo Switch 2, while he's on his, while he's also streaming and interacting. Go for it. Why our live stream with this? Little Q 2010, why our live stream with this? Why am I live streaming? I am live streaming because I've been in the video game industry for 25 plus years. I've been to E3 back in the day from 2010 through 2019. I continuously go to video game events like Nintendo Switch in unexpected places, Nintendo Switch 2 experience in Los Angeles, Super Mario World opening in Universal Studios Hollywood, red carpet premiere of the Super Mario Brothers movie. I cover video game news, video game sales, and today is the last day of the year, so it's the last opportunity to stream and talk about video games, video game news. Doug Bowser retiring. What are our thoughts on 2026? I hope I understood that right. Why our live stream with this? I don't know. And then another follow-up Nintendo podcast in 2026. A Nintendo podcast? I am on a regular Friday night Nintendo podcast. The Day Topics podcast. That's every Friday. Sometimes on the Nintendo Byte podcast. And then I've also been on Player Essence's channel, Game Explains channel, Andres Restart's channel. So different content creators. But yeah. I am definitely getting it Friday. I love Batman. That's why you're the GOAT. Thanks, Paul. You're welcome, David Patterson. I hope you enjoyed the heck out of Batman. It's awesome. Tsukino Ame saying Street Fighter 6 is on sale also for $20. I don't know when the sale will end. It is well worth it, Street Fighter 6. Even if you have a little bit of interest in what's Street Fighter all about. $20, worth it. It's got a good arcade mode, good options in terms of like versus mode, 2-player combat, fun, wild things, classic controls, modern controls, simplified controls, a world tour mode with a little bit of story behind it, voice acting and such. It's fun. Good cast. Cool, iconic music. A lot of content in there. And then you can buy more beyond that. But well worth it for $20. Yeah. Is the Batman trilogy optimized for Switch 2? So, that's the thing, Carlton-san. I actually don't know if they further improved the game with intentional extra stuff But I enjoyed the heck out of all of Asylum, all of City, and then some of Night, just because I didn't need to replay all of Night. It was more fresh in my memory compared to the other two. But to my understanding, folks have gone through all of Night and been like, oh no, they did more than just, the base NS2 and how it handles things. So for what it's worth, by others' accord, it looks like it looks like Asylum has gotten a little bit more than just the normal boost. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And regarding Asylum and City, I don't know. But I'd imagine if Night got a little more than a normal boost, those two would too. But at the very least, they've got something, right? By default. What about Soul Reaver 1 and 2? Have you played them, Paul? Soul Reaver 1, yes, back in the day on the original PlayStation, but I did not play Soul Reaver 1 or 2 on Nintendo Switch. But Soul Reaver back in the day was cool. You're about to get on the eShop with your Switch 2 after this and add to the wishlist Friday. Yeah, people still think playing... People still... What? Let me see. People today still play old Pokemon games? Yeah. I have a friend only plays Mario 64, nothing else interesting. But hey, if someone found the one game they like and that's it, that's okay. I like a variety. I think more people than not like variety, but yeah, nothing wrong with if you just got one game and that's your jam, go for it. Even if a game's a game key card, I will never not game. If gaming gets to a point where there's no more physical medium, not even game key cards, doesn't matter. I'm still going to buy them because I love video games. And if I don't have a true tangible ownership, whatever. I'm going to download it. I'm going to play the heck out of it. I'm going to like it, Wow, I may have to get that trilogy then. I would say so. $7 and actually less than $7 per game. That's well worth it. AJ Rax, did you get a tour of the NoA building? From the outside, yes. When I went in September of 2023, the outside, yes. I'm at work, so I can't link anything at the moment. That's okay, Roger. Let me see if I can pull that up on the side real quick. J Views, member for 3 months, flashing that green badge. Looking good. Thank you. Monado Max, flashing that membership for 3 months with that nice green badge. Both at that white belt here. Big thank you to you both. Will you get to go to the Nintendo Museum in Japan in 2026? Or will I go? Or will I get to it? I get you. I get what you're saying. Oh, that's a big trip. I would like to. Oh, it would be so much fun to go to Japan next year and go to the Nintendo Museum and go to Super Nintendo World in Japan as well. Dang, there's a lot of cool things that I would like to do in Japan. Train at a traditional Shotokan karate dojo. Both learn more, perhaps teach more, train alongside. Yeah, I would enjoy that quite a bit. Let's see. What else we got? Hang on a moment. I want to get Roger your stream up here. I'd like to help out, get some visibility. Arkham Asylum and City were perfect on Switch 1, so maybe you get a slightly higher resolution of Night. That's the one that needed to work. That'd be cool. You know what's also cool? Peach coming in for the final stream of the year. Peach, say hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Oh, Peach, you're crazy. She's wild now. She's a wild, happy dog. Look at this. Look at this dog. You ever see a dog this wild? You ever see a dog this wild? Never. Never. Oh boy, she is pumped up. She is energetic as all can be. So AJ Racks maybe regarding 2026 and the Nintendo Museum. Hopefully. JViews says, any games you're looking forward to in January, Paul? Definitely well, I was going to say FF7 Remake. Aside from FF7 Remake, I've got my eye on Mio, Memories in Orbit. That'll be cool. You know what? I don't think we have a date yet for Indiana Jones, do we? Indiana Jones South of Midnight. I could have by now checked them both out on Xbox Series, but didn't. But those will be fun. FF7 Remake, though, for sure. Even though I already have it, I might take my time playing through it, but the significance of it, I have to get it. Monado Max says, Happy New Year, friends. Happy New Year, Monado Max. Robbie Rains saying Doug Bowser retiring is sad. Yeah. He's great, but whatever he does going forward in the future will be awesome too. Hang on one moment. I'll be right back. Alrighty, let's see. Yeah, regarding Doug Bowser, he had a great run. 11 and a half years at Nintendo. 9 years as president. Cool person, good person in my book, as I expressed earlier, sharing some memories and interactions. But yeah, enjoy the retirement life. Have fun with your family, grandkid. Relax. Play some games. Hit the slopes. Go skiing more often. Whether he finds little work to keep him busy, that's up to him. Or just is retired and just purely enjoys the extra time. Go for that as well. JM Powers 83. Hello, Paul and everyone else. Devon Pritchard, get the tables. Oh yeah, Devon. I get it. I get that reference. I get it. That's funny. Zero Suit Samus. More like Zero Beard Paul. True, Robbie Rains. No more beard. But it'll probably come back. Tall Show. Robbie Rains. Carlton San. Tsukino Ame. Pokemon Fan 34. Happy to see Peach. Born to be wild. Joycey J's comment. That's true. That's Peach for you. I look forward to Pokemon Pokopia in March and Monster Hunter Stories 3. Yeah? Oh, Resident Evil Requiem is February, right? Oh, dang. That's early in the year for a pretty sweet one. That's good. Let's see, what else we got? I played FF7 a bit on PS5, but never got to finish it. Having such a high-quality portable version will be incredible. Yeah. I just bought the Batman Arkham Trilogy on Switch. I was going to get the physical version, but found out only one game was on the cart. Yeah. Knight also got a recent update, but nothing substantial. Okay. Devon Pritchard is the first woman president at Nintendo of America. Pokemon Fan 34. I miss Peach. Peach was here earlier, but you saw that. Right? Watching back-to-back live streams at once till my friend comes over. That's cool. Why are kids obsessed with the number 6'7"? I don't get it. So, to my understanding, there was a basketball player that folks liked, gravitated towards, whatever. Apparently, his height was 6'7". A younger generation said when it was announced, because maybe it was announced of his height in a certain way, 6'7", and then it became a little bit of a meme within the culture to say 6'7", even if it didn't have any relevance, even if it didn't mean anything. And then it just got bigger and bigger how things spread normally, and it became more funny. And then anytime now, if you're counting 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, and then songs are made from it, etc., etc. So really just something that started off as not much became a little bit more, to the point of people finding it to be funny and more meme-like, and there you go. Well, that's kind of it in a nutshell, you know. Some things make more sense than others. Some things really don't have anything to do with anything, but at the end of the day, it is just the topic of the day. It is the meme of the year. And you can look back in history and be like, well, at least ours made sense. I mean, to you, to us, but to a generation that was a little bit older, probably it was questionable. Why would you say that? You know? The phrase, that's dope. Dope. Dope was a word that I would use as a descriptor for cool, neat, fun. And that kind of stuck around for a long time. I remember in high school when my friends and I would say, that's dope. One of our high school teachers said, why do you say dope? Well, like James Bond, it's dope. GoldenEye. They would have a commercial going on the TV when we were watching like Channel 1 kids news, teenage news TV on the mornings in school. GoldenEye 007 is dope. Well, why? Do you know what dope is? Well, yeah, it's cool, it's fun. But why are you using that as a descriptor for James Bond? Well, GoldenEye 007, it's a dope game. He's cool. The game's fun. You know, dope is another word for, drugs. And it's like, well, we're not using it at all as far as, oh, don't do dope or something like that. We're using it purely as a cool descriptor. And like, the teacher could not wrap his head around the fact that people were using the word as a description word for something that was cool. And to this day, now high school for me was 20 years ago, 25 years ago? Yeah, 24 years ago, whatever. I graduated in 2001. High school was 24 years ago for me. So using dope was, a little bit longer than that even. But that's something that never went away. And to this day, you have some folks that have it as a part of their vocabulary, and some not at all. Some get it, some don't. And there's your 6'7". There's your modern day 6'7", where maybe it will become meaning nothing. Or maybe it will become, I don't care. Or maybe it will become, it could go either way with a hand gesture. But that's usually how stuff goes down. By the way, that was a big distraction, but I hope that answered your question. Oh, who asked that? I forgot who asked that right now. JM Powers 83? I think you asked that. Hope that answered it. By the way, that was a long tangent. I just put up on the screen Roger Enyart's YouTube channel. So it is here right now. And also, I put the link in the chat. So if you want to play some Mario Kart World tonight, check out Roger Enyart's stream. There are 44 of you watching now. You could click that link off to the side or open it up in another tab or something like that. Subscribe to Roger. Check out some of his content on the channel. And then if you're interested in playing with others tonight, you can. By the way, thank you all. We've got 43 likes in here with 46 people watching. Those are some nice numbers. Let's see. Let me get back to reading some more chat. Code Vein 2 is in January. Neo 3 is in February. Can we get 50 likes? Good question. Are there any countdowns that you're excited to do for 2026, Paul? You know, it will be... Well, I am working on 2, as you might know. Maybe, maybe not. Every month I do an update to the Super Mario Galaxy movie and to the Legend of Zelda movie. I may, when it gets down to like 30 days left or 28 days left, do a daily countdown to both films. I'm not sure yet. Beyond those 2, which are just for now a once a monther, because they're kind of far out, Zelda in particular, I may do something for like Grand Theft Auto 6. We'll have to see more of what's to come. Like, could I do something for Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave? Could I do something for Wolverine? Yeah, you know, some possibilities. Graceful Requiem says, I'm debating what platform to play Grand Bazaar and Guardians of Azuma on. The high quality graphics on PC or handheld portability of Switch 2. How good does the docked version look compared to higher fidelity graphics on PC? And does your PC have that ability to output? Because then you can look at it as well. A little bit less good in docked, little bit less good looking docked mode, but still good looking compared to PC. Versus, yeah, slightly less good looking, but still good looking docked mode versus better looking PC. And with this one, also having portable. Does that win? I don't know. My friend is here, so Happy New Year all. See you, Pokemon Fan 34. Have a good one. I hopefully will be back tomorrow morning. Normally I am Thursday morning for the Japanese Famitsu data. I would like to still stick to a Thursday morning, but we'll see. Especially since it's the first of the new year. It would be cool. Choice J still says dope. Heck yeah. Tsukino Ame talking. Okay, I'm talking amongst each other. Lil Young sub to Roger. Great. J Views agrees that GTA 6 would be a great one. Cool. Graceful Requiem. I have a 5080 and a 4K OLED monitor versus alright dock Switch 2. Okay, I see. So you got a capable, competent PC that can handle it. Yeah, I don't know. I hope you make the right decision, though. Carlton San says, see ya, guys. Matt 21155 says, what's up, Matt? Michael S. Gutman saying, well, it has made some games worse. Okay, talking amongst each other. Okay, hold on, sorry. I gotta get to a text at this point. 1 second. One moment. Sorry, folks. Okay. Sorry. A little bit of distraction. Okay, still talking amongst each other. Okay, cool. Actually, well, I don't like to leave the chat not talking, not engaged. But in this case, even while I tended to some messages, you were all talking amongst each other, and I like to see that. It's such a good community you all are, and I say it all the time. As much fun as I have engaging and reading everything from everyone, it's just as cool seeing you all have fun amongst each other, Big Brother Gianni, hey bro, if you need to take a break for a bit and cook some turkey and eggs, go do it. No need to cook turkey and eggs. In fact, got some leftovers still from Christmas that are just about out now. So, yeah. Between some leftovers and tonight, gonna go see Stranger Things finale in the theaters. Probably end up having some movie theater food. I'm good. I'm good. What do you choose, graphics or portability, Paul? Oh, in certain cases, it depends if the graphics on the portable device and the game overall are of a comparable quality, then yeah, I'll definitely go with the portable one. Like, for me, Dragon Ball Fighter Z looked so good on Nintendo Switch, so comparable to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions, that I was an easy buy on Nintendo Switch. Because it's a good looking game and a little bit more good of a looking game. But this one, still good, not bad. Also, completely portable. That one won. If it's to a point where it doesn't look good or doesn't run well, and it looks good and runs well, and this is portable, I can't let that slide. I gotta go with this, In the case of these titles that you mentioned, if it looks good, runs well, and is portable, but just looks better, runs a little bit better, unless if that difference is really great, I think I'm gonna go with looks good, comparable enough, and portable. I think that wins. You know what's winning? Matt 21155 has entered the PGN Greenbelt tier. Wow. Not everyone joins the PGN Greenbelt tier, but what a good tier it is to be in. Big thank you, Matt. Let me get your name up here. Thank you so much for joining. Any membership is a good membership around here, I try to make the good content with the shorts, whether they are countdown, gaming history, videos that are unboxings, a yearly Nintendo or video game themed pumpkin carving. I try to put in good effort. And I try to make the channels have, you know, uh, an appropriate amount of things on the subscription side. And YouTube is a free place. It's a free form of entertainment. You know what I mean? But the fact that folks are willing to subscribe, that you're willing to be a white belt member, means a lot. Uh, be a blue belt, green belt, brown belt member, means a lot. That contribution goes a long way. So I am very grateful for it. Big thank you, Matt, for leveling up and joining that green belt tier. Thank you so much. And I did add that contribution towards the stream total also, bringing us to $47 today. Way to go, Matt. Thank you. So I hope that answers the question, Graceful Requiem, on that end. I think on Nintendo Switch 2, we're going to see more and more games be more comparable to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series counterparts, that third-party sales will go up on the platform. You know? I mean, I was happy, I was content with Spyro the Dragon trilogy, Crash Bandicoot trilogy, and Crash Team Racing on Nintendo Switch, where I didn't need the PS4, Xbox One versions looking a little bit better. They were good. They were fine. If there is something, though, that would be broken or, geez, way different visually, then it would make sense to go with something else. Now, with certain games, maybe the Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo Switch version is fine, but like, despite being fine, good, running well, and portable, the other version just looks loads better. Night and day difference better. Doesn't make this one bad, but it's just so much better that you're like, oh, even though this is fine and nice and portable, this is just so much better. Why did I buy this high-end PC if I'm not going to be utilizing it? I mean, you could also look at it from the other perspective of why did I buy this Nintendo Switch 2 and not utilizing it? If it's a game also, though, that you'll be playing portably and gives you more access, more opportunity to play it more frequently due to the portable nature, while still enjoying it in the docked experience, I think that does win over slightly. Yeah. I remember you from the Nintendo Prime Shorts, Paul, says Big Brother GNE. Are you two brothers? No, we're not brothers, but we are friends. Yeah, and I give Nate my gaming history shorts, my gaming countdown shorts and stuff. Personally, I would choose graphics, but it also really depends on the game. Yeah. Metro Prime 4, I like to play in handheld mode. Graceful Requiem says, for example, the draw distance is worse on Switch 2 and objects look blurry not there. In which game? But overall, I'd say it's quite similar. Oh, in the titles that you're kind of debating, which one? Grand Bazaar, Gardens of Azuma. I see. Genie Love says, I'm looking at the Steam sale, and there's some games I wish were on Switch, like Final Fantasy 13. Yeah, FF13 is suspiciously missing. I get 14 not being there because it's online. It's a lot to set up. I get 11 online. Tough to set up. Also older. But at this point, you've got original 1 through 6. You've got 7, 8, and 9. 10 and 10-2. You've got 12. Got Crystal Chronicles. But you're missing 13. Lightning. Nowhere to be found. 15, you do have 15 Pocket. So you have 15 in a sense. But not the big 15. So that's 1 or 2 that are kind of missing, I guess. because 15 is still a version. And then 16, yeah, you don't have, but could come. You're getting 7 Remake. You'll eventually get 7 Rebirth. And then the 7, final part of the trilogy. Yeah. I wish Digimon Story Time Stranger was on Switch 2. I wonder if it will pop up eventually. Graphics have also plateaued pretty significantly in the last 5 to 10 years. I'm more interested in art style, like Metro Prime, Uncharted series, Infamous, GTA 5, etc. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. And that's kind of the hope, sort of, for these next generation consoles that come out that will be next gen, at least for PlayStation and Xbox, because they will be joining Nintendo in the 10th gen that was started with Nintendo Switch 2. But it'll be interesting to see, depending on when they come out, the longer it takes to come out, the bigger the gap in performance and graphics and stuff like that there will be. Kind of like Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo Switch 2 didn't come out the 4-year 5 mark of NS's lifetime. It came out 8 years and 3 months later. By doing so, it allowed more time, more tech to go by. Nintendo really to say, we are putting this much more RAM in here. The CPU and the GPU are going to be running at this much higher of a clock rate. Hey, we've got this DLSS component. We're throwing that in there too. And it's a big difference maker of all of that. The modern tech, the better quality RAM, etc. Over the base Nintendo Switch. So if PS6 and Xbox 6 come out too soon, by the way, I'm calling it Xbox 6 because I'm retroactively allowing Microsoft to count Series S as a system and Series X as a system. So you got Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, and then Xbox 6. There you go. So I'm calling it Xbox 6. Yeah. They come out too early. First of all, you hardly tapped into Series X and PlayStation 5. Secondly, you're not going to get that much of an improvement over those two systems, really, compared to waiting longer. Yeah. I think Digimon will come to Switch 2. Bandai Namco titles feel like they were negatively affected by the subdued dev kit availability. Yeah, the decision to put it on 12 gigs of RAM was a great choice. Yeah. All right, folks. I posted it earlier. I mentioned it earlier. We've got Roger Enyart's page right here up for quite a while now. Giving friend of the channel, friend of the chat, cool person in here, a little bit of a shout out, who's going to have some Mario Kart World fun later on. I dropped the link in here earlier. Let me look on X real quick. Anything going on? Nothing too much. Paul, you forgot Xbox One X. Yeah, Steak 1024. I mean, see, like that's a thing too. I originally, ironically, made this same kind of comment back when we didn't know what the series was going to be called, because I was like, Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox 5. Meaning you could call the Xbox series, before we knew the title, Xbox 5. Microsoft didn't go that direction. So now I'm kind of lumping in Xbox One and Xbox One X as allowing the X to be a pro version of One. And you're like, well, isn't the X a pro version of the Series S in that regard too? Yeah, but I'm trying to find a way for Microsoft to just call the thing Xbox 6. You know what I mean? But it's probably doubtful because they didn't go that direction with, doing 5 instead of series. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't call the next one 6 instead of whatever. But yeah. I think we're going to wrap up the stream. I wasn't sure that we were going to make Nintendo 64 minutes today, but we did. Paul, you also forgot the digital Xbox One. Well, I didn't forget that, but then again, then you're going into like, okay, well then there was the Xbox 360 black model, the Xbox 360 Slim, the Xbox One S, Xbox One X, and then Xbox Series X digital, and then you have too many things. You know, so I was just trying to come up with, can we make it the Xbox 6 and just go numbered? But I don't know. I think Nintendo's on a roll though. PlayStation, kind of a no-brainer. PlayStation 6. Xbox, we'll see. Nintendo though, Nintendo Switch 3. Nintendo Switch 2 is going to end up a very high selling console. Maybe it'll capture the same success as Nintendo Switch. Maybe it'll only sell 127 million. Maybe it'll top Nintendo Switch. We'll see. But I think Nintendo Switch 3 is good to foresee that. Xbox has made it more complicated than it needed to be. Didn't get Xbox 720, yeah. I have the Xbox One S all digital, contemplating on replacing the hard drive with an SSD. Cool. So I wasn't much present, but you all have a great evening. I'm glad you're here for a bit, Charles Riddell. Do you think the next PS will be a handheld console? I mean, rumors are suggesting that it'll be a handheld console, a little bit less powerful than a PS5, but also dockable. And then if this thing has access to all of your digital titles that you've purchased on PS4 and PS5 over the years and plays it better than a PS5 Pro, but not quite like a PS5. Better than a PS4 Pro, but not quite a PS5. But is portable and still dockable and shared and ends up coming out for like $700. It won't make Nintendo Switch 2 have a run for its money, you know? It won't give it a run for its money like, oh my gosh, it's over. But it could have a place in the market. And I said 700 just because things are getting more expensive. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be interesting what happens. I say we don't need any new systems at the moment. I agree, Lion Star. Lion. Same power as Switch 2. Anything that comes out going forward is going to be more powerful marginally probably than what we have now, but also is going to be more expensive. So if we do get some kind of new PlayStation Portable, call it PSP3, right? For now, I think it's more powerful than a Nintendo Switch 2, and I think it's a lot more expensive. But does the power increase and the price equal some justification level? Time will tell. If anything, my guess is it will be a hybrid console as well, but will more likely than not be twice the price of Switch 2. Man, twice the price. A $900 machine, maybe. I mean, speaking of $900 machines, we don't know what the price is going to be of the Steam machine. So you're looking at $900 MSRP, fully digital. Maybe they include a 512 gigabyte internal with expandable storage, maybe. What's Roger's channel called? Michael S. Gutmann, right here. Oh no, that's mine. Here we go. Here's Roger's. I had it up earlier, but there you go. One second. I might be able to hang on for a couple more minutes. 1 second. Oh, we couldn't end the stream without one final guest. I mean, we had AJ Rax with an awesome $20 contribution. Thank you for the super chat. We had Creeper Destinations with another awesome $15 in super chats. Matt 21155 with a sweet $7. Carlton Son with a cool $5. We almost hit 500 members on this channel for the end of the year. It's either at 424 or 425. I thought it was 425. YouTube still says 424 this morning. I don't know if that's because they didn't add the 425th on their end yet, or they didn't, or somebody just lost the membership. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hang on a second. Matt, 21155. Yours wasn't a super chat. Yours was a membership. Does that count as a new membership? If it does, hold on. If that's a new membership, then that actually counts as 425. Okay, so we then might be at that 425, or it might be 426. So we got so close to hitting 500 members this year. Really cool to see, you know? That's, I mean, if it is 425, that's like 85% there. So big thank you for that. We had 8,033 total subscribers on the channel. Going from, I think, 3,588 to this number, which more than doubled the total in 1 year. Thank you so much, y'all, for being here. We had quite some people watching. We're finishing off a minute shy of 2 hours, which means we'll just talk for another minute as I wrap this up and say thank you. Steam Cube, self-promoting channel, cheekily. I'm glad to help out, help out Roger. Guessing 650 for portable, Vita 2, Steam Machine, Steam Cube, promotions, Charlie Smith, but Nintendo has always been the most powerful console. Nintendo's been the most powerful and the least. It flipped. NES was the most powerful of its day, as was Super Nintendo and 64, and GameCube was toe-to-toe with Xbox, where one topped the other in some, the other topped the other in others. But you could give Nintendo, like, these first 4 generations of their home consoles in North American market as the most powerful or equivalent of. And then it was just Wii U, Nintendo Switch, where they were not as powerful as the competition. Wii U was the most powerful for a little bit, but only for a year, until PS4 and Xbox One came out. So it doesn't really count in terms of generations, right? Nintendo Switch, a comparable system to what Xbox One and PS4 were delivering in terms of modern day gaming, just of less specs, but also portable. And then now Nintendo Switch 2, a few years after PS5, Xbox Series, but more comparable, closer to them than NS was to PS4 and Xbox One. And with the DLSS, in some ways, punching above weight, and overall above one of those two, which was the Series S, and starting off the 10th generation right, it is the most powerful and only 10th gen machine there is for now. But compared to what else is out there, it's quite capable, Hi, Chair. Happy New Year's to you.
Hi.
Steamroller, Kitty, W for Mario. Yeah, I'm glad y'all like Mario. Mario had to make a little presence. So we had Peach on stream today. We had Mario on stream today. In this economy, they'd be lucky to sell 1 million units within the first year. PlayStation needs to worry more about their lack of first-party titles in the 5 years unless about new hardware. I would say, dude, just keep on making games for PS5. Have someone in the back end start some titles for PS6, but don't worry about it. Let PS5 exist for another 3 years, you know? Come out November 28 or 29 even. And then have enough in the back burner that you don't have these tremendous gaps on PS6. But I don't know. I think fewer games are going to come out from some of these big parties, unless if they start adopting Nintendo's strategy. Hey, we have some big blockbuster games that come out, but we also have smaller budget titles, and we find success all over, you know? Wait, what question mark? I don't know what that was referring to. Cool, nice work. Heck yeah, the reasons PS5 doesn't have that many first-party games are the amount of time it takes to make them and push for live service. Switch 2 is consistently punching above its weight class. Yes, 2026 is going to prove that time and time again. More day-and-date titles and more exclusives. Yeah, that's true. You know, we will hear more of the impossible port? Wow! On Nintendo Switch 2 next year. We will hear some, I can't believe this is running on this hardware next year. We will see this is Nintendo's best looking game ever, probably next year or within this generation, you know? We will see some, that third-party studio made that exclusively for Nintendo Switch 2? Wow. I never thought I would see that on a Nintendo platform. You're going to hear some or all of these things next year, and if not next year, some or all of these things to continue in the generation to come for the next several years. It's going to be fun. All right, now we officially hit 2 years. I'm going to roll. Yeah, we didn't hit our Nintendo 64 goal for today. That's okay, though. We did top that in terms of streaming time. That's good. And like I said earlier, we hit 8,000 subscribers for the year, and we're finishing the year at over 400 members. Maybe in January we'll hit 500. I don't know. Maybe by July 7th we'll hit 10,000 subscribers. I don't know. Time will tell. But it's been fun. Thank you so much from Paul Gale Network to all of you watching PGN Live, watching the shorts, watching the countdown videos. I appreciate it. As always, I hope you all have a fantastic New Year's Eve evening. For some of you, you might have crossed over into 2026. So hello from the past, future people. And hopefully, maybe, I'll see you tomorrow morning at around 10 a.m. Pacific time to go over the Famitsu sales in Japan, if we indeed get them. It'd be cool to kick off the new year with a stream on day one, but we'll see. But yeah, so long for now. Happy New Year's in advance.